Hi there, I'm Karen the Forest Empress, and I am here with your reading for whatever period of time you happen to be watching this. These will be the messages for you. Now, I'm doing just a simple 4-card spread, one that I kind of came up with myself. The first card will be challenge, then focus, then what you can cultivate, and the outcome. Now for Pisces, which this video is for, the beautiful Pisces, I'm a Pisces too, you did have a card pop out while I was shuffling, and I did kind of a practice reading beforehand, and this card also came up, so I felt like it was significant. So the one that did pop out is the Six of Cups. This has a lot to do with nostalgia and, kind of almost wishing for a simpler time that you perceived that you had without really looking at the issues at hand or what's really going on in the present moment. So this is just kind of a reminder that while things may have looked better in the past, or you felt maybe that you felt a certain way in the past, those feelings are not gone forever. This is something that you can absolutely still have in the present moment, and it's just about finding that. I always think of this card as also being kind of grateful for what you have instead of thinking that things could be better if this were this way. Just because this little boy is giving this little girl a cup, and it does seem like there's a lot of gratitude involved. So that would be kind of my advice for this card popping out. But it's okay to remember the good moments in your life and feel nostalgic and think back on them, and because it really helps you reflect on how far you've come since those supposed better times. So now let's get into your actual reading. And I didn't mention at the beginning that at the end I will be pulling an animal oracle card. That's where my background is in animals. I was a zoologist for many years, and so I like to kind of weave some animal energy into every reading. But let's do your actual reading. So the first card is your challenge for this time. You got the High Priestess in reverse. So there could be a challenge with maybe religious views, your spirituality. It could be, a struggle to look within yourself, because when it comes down to it, a lot of spirituality is just about finding who you are in your relationship to this kind of other world or higher power. So you could feel disconnected from a higher power right now. And so this would just be encouraging you to find your center. And, if you like to do this to meditate or whatever, pray, whatever you do that makes you feel more connected to God, a higher power, whatever you believe. So that's kind of your challenge right now. And I also kind of think there could be a little lack of faith in yourself right now that could be challenging you. So number 2, the focus card is the Ace of Cups. So while you are feeling, however you're feeling with this High Priestess in reverse coming up, it's looking pretty good here in terms of what you should be focusing on. And this is kind of a new emotional beginning. So you might be looking with that, with the Six of Cups popping out, you might be looking back on things and having a hard time with just these memories and where you are right now. And it could be causing a lack of faith in yourself. But this is showing you that you should really be focusing on your cup runneth over, so to speak. So what aspects of your life are you really, succeeding at or talented in, or, what good can you find in things? And if you are kind of feeling at a crossroads, this could be a new emotional beginning. It's just kind of about changing the way you think about yourself and your situation, because your cup does runneth over. And the advice here would be to focus more on that instead of what you don't have, or, what emotions you're not having right now. Like, even if you don't feel completely happy overall, there can be little things that you can look at that can make you feel happy and just kind of all add up into the broader picture where whatever you're struggling with, you can overcome and overflow like this cup with love and success. So let's move on to your third card. So this is the card of what you need to cultivate. And we did get the Five of Cups. So there's a lot of cups energy. So far we have 3 cups cards, and we have the High Priestess, which is a card of great sensitivity. And so, you could be feeling very sensitive about everything that's going on right now. And as a Pisces, that's not out of your realm, because Pisces are extremely sensitive to the environment around them. So this is a card, unfortunately, this is a card of sorrow. That's what I see it as anyway. This guy has 3 spilled cups, but his back is turned to the 2 cups that are full. Sorry about that slip up. And this kind of goes back to this Ace of Cups here, because while he is very sad about these 3 cups that spilled, he is either choosing to not see or just flat out doesn't see the 2 full cups behind him. So even when it seems like there's no hope or everything is lost, again, there is something there that is good and worth turning around and really taking a good look at. And you just kind of have to figure out where that falls into your life. So my advice would be so in terms of cultivate, that is, I would say cultivate a little more open-mindedness. Instead of looking at the big picture, look at smaller details right now. And Pisces is a big picture sign. So depending on what else you have going on in your chart, it might be difficult for you to see finer details of things, but this is encouraging you to really do that, or at least try to, in this time, whenever you're watching this. Or, since I think of this as being a card of kind of like sadness or sorrow or wanting to kind of withdraw, he's withdrawing into his cape or his robe. Sometimes you might need to cry it out. Sometimes it's okay to cultivate a little sorrow, to feel that emotion, to get it out. It's really not good to hold your emotions within you. And I don't really typically think of Pisces as a sign to hold their emotions within. Usually their emotions are pretty apparent because they take in so much of their environment, and you can generally, because they're so sensitive, you can kind of tell like what's going on with them, or if they're struggling in a situation. Or they could be really good at hiding it. It just depends on what other things are going on in your chart. But if you want to cultivate a little bit of sorrow, have a good cry, and just if that releases things for you and makes you feel better, then do that. And it could go back to, connecting to this higher power. Maybe it's time for you to just take some time for yourself, really reflect on everything, connect with whatever spirituality you like, what works for you, and, just process through those emotions and get them out. Because now the number 4 card is the outcome, and we have the Knight of Swords. So this could be someone coming in very swiftly, someone who's a very smooth talker. If this has to do with work, this could be someone who could kind of help save the day in terms of your work. Maybe you're having a project or something where everyone can't agree, or you can't come to the conclusion needed to successfully finish this project, and this person could be coming in with a really good idea. So pay attention to people who have advice to impart, even if it's someone younger than you. And I say this because this is a knight and not a king. It could be even someone younger than you that normally you would brush it off and say, well, what do they know? But there could be a deeper message here. So even if maybe they're not speaking directly to your situation, they could kind of just inadvertently give advice that pertains to what you're going through if you just really pay attention. So I think another message here is to really pay attention to the fine details of things, whatever's going on in your life right now, and look for deeper messages within, because this guy could be somebody who's just talking and he happens to hit on something for you, and he maybe doesn't know, or it could be a she, but it could be something that could actually really help you, or offer you some really good advice for your situation. So don't discount it just because you might not trust where it's coming from. Just take it at face value is what my advice would be. And this doesn't have to be a person. I think of this as kind of, usually we think of pages as being messages, but in this case with this knight, I feel like this could be a message too, because this guy is really barreling forward into life, and this could be something that comes really quickly, some kind of news or something like that too. If it's not a person imparting it, it could be maybe like an email or something. I don't know why I'm getting that, but it could be in this day and age. It's possible. Now let's move on to your animal card for your reading, and I pulled it already. You got the lizard, and this actually I thought was very appropriate for Pisces because the message is dream time. Pay attention to your dreams and visions, and this could also go along with this Knight of Swords. Maybe this message for whatever's kind of ailing you right now, this message could come to you in a dream for how to deal with it. And something I like to do is when I wake up, if I remember my dreams at all, I like to write down everything that I remember about them, because when I go back like months or even years later and look at it, it'll trigger things within me that make sense now, if that makes sense. So even if your dreams don't make sense right in the moment, it's possible they could later. So it's a good idea to record them. And, you know, Pisces is kind of the sign of the dreamer. And so it's interesting that this card came up for you. And also this advice from this lizard, he looks so happy. I would say keep dreaming, and whatever you're dreaming of with this Ace of Cups here, I feel like it's possible. You just need to somehow deal with whatever disconnect you have, either from yourself or from some higher power, or whatever is kind of disconnecting you from life right now. So sometimes it's okay to retreat into a dreamland if you need to. And in this case, I feel like if you need that respite, definitely take it. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you enjoyed, please like, share, and subscribe, and I would really appreciate it. And I will see you next time. Thanks. Bye.